Basque dialects are linguistic varieties of the Basque language which differ in pronunciation, vocabulary and grammar from each other and from Standard Basque. Between 6 and 9 Basque dialects have been historically distinguished: Biscayan.Gipuzkoan.Upper Navarrese, Lower Navarrese, Lapadian, Solatan. In modern times, however, both Lower Navarrese and Lapadian are considered part of a Navarrese-Lapadian dialect, so there would be 5 dialects, divided into 11 subdialects and 24 minor varieties. The boundaries of all these dialects do not coincide directly with current political or administrative boundaries. It was believed that the dialect boundaries between Biscayan.Gipuzkoan and Upper Navarrese showed some relation to some pre-Roman tribal boundaries between the Caristii, Varduli and Vascones. However, main Basque dialectologists now deny any direct relation between those tribes and Basque dialects. It seems that these dialects were created in the Middle Ages from a previously quite unified Basque language, and the dialects diverged from each other since then as a result of the administrative and political division that happened in the Basque country. History of Basque dialectology. One of the first scientific studies of Basque dialects, regarding the auxiliary verb forms, was made by Louis Lucien Bonaparte, a nephew of Napoleon Bonaparte. His original dialect map, Carte des Sept Provinces Basques, was published in 1869 along with his Le Verbe Basque en Tableaux, was regarded as the authoritative guide in Basque dialectology for a century. He collected his data in fieldwork between 1856 and 1869 in 5 visits to the Basque country. By then, the Basque language was in retreat throughout the territory in which it had been commonly spoken. In Alava, Basque had all but vanished from the plains and the highlands, remaining only in the stronghold of Aramayo and bordering fringes of Biscayan.Gipuzkoan, while in Navarre the Scala collected the last live evidence in areas extending as far south as Tafella. In 1998, Koldo Zuazo, professor of Basque philology at the University of the Basque Country, redefined the dialect classifications slightly. For example, he changed the name of Biscayan to Western Gipuzkoan to Central Upper Navarrese to Navarrese. He also grouped Lapadian with Lower Navarrese, distinguished Eastern Navarrese as an independent dialect, and recognized several mixed areas: Western, Central, Navarrese, Eastern Navarrese, Navarrese Lapadian, Solatan. Much has been studied too on the Basque dialect spoken formerly in Alava. In 1997, Zuazo released research carried out on the issue based on dispersed recorded evidence and papers drawn up especially by Koldo Michelina. The pundit outlines 3 main linguistic areas running north to south, where features related to Western and Navarrese dialects mix up to different degrees according to their geographical position. He focuses mainly on relevant lexicomorphological differences, such as instrumental declension marks gaz, rekin, ablative rin, tic, barrier, beria, elexa, alesia, padura, madura, to mention but a few. Key distinguishing features in Basque dialect phonology include loss of paraua and aspirated stops in southern Basque dialects, divergence of historic j into j, xpi, Solatan development of the vowel y, morphological variation. Modern Basque dialects show a high degree of dialectal divergence. However, cross-dialectal communication without prior knowledge of either Standard Basque or the other dialect is normally possible to a reasonable extent, with the notable exception of Zubaron, which is regarded as the most divergent Basque dialect. The names for the language in the dialects of Basque, for example, exemplify to some degree the dialectal fragmentation of the Basque-speaking area. The most divergent forms are generally found in the Eastern dialects. The following map shows the approximate areas where each word is used. The smaller type instances are cases of the name being recorded for a particular area. The larger type instances show super-regional forms common throughout the dialect area in question. Comparison of sample verb forms. Comparing the forms of the Basque verb used in the different Basque dialects also gives a good overview over some of the differences and common features. Key to verb forms, phonological variation. Basque dialects all diverge from this standard inventory to a larger or lesser extent. The grapheme J displays by far the most noticeable divergence, followed by the fricatives and affricates. Wilde describes the following: Basthorn and Eastern Navarrese dialect, lack of X. Sarasua, a dialect in a mixed Gipuzkoan, Western Navarrese dialect area. Geminate vowels I, tilde, E, tilde, E, A, tilde, O, tilde, U, tilde, UU. Guernica, a Biscayan dialect, merger of per second with per second and ts with ts. Additional phonemes, lack of C and J. Onderoa, a Biscayan dialect, merger of per second with per second and ts with ts. Additional phonemes, dz, lack of C and J. Standardized dialects. There have been various attempts throughout history to promote standardized forms of Basque dialects to the level of a common Standard Basque. A standardized form of Lower Navarrese was the dialect used by influential 16th-century author Jones Lizarraga, as Gipuzkoan.Upper, dating to 1935, attempted, though largely unsuccessfully, to create a standardized Basque based on Gipuzkoan, complemented with elements from other dialects. In the 1940s, a group called Jack in Sabetha gathered around the academician Federico Crutway, who preferred to base the standard on the Lapadian of Jones Lizarraga's Protestant Bible and the first printed books in Basque. However, they did not receive support from other Basque language scholars and activists. In 1944, Pierre Lafitte published his Navarro Labadam literaire, based on classical Lapadian, which has become the de facto standard form of Lapadian. It is taught in some schools of Lapadian, used on radio, in church, and by the newspaper Hera. Since 1968, Euskaltzaindia has promulgated a unified Basque based on the central dialects that has successfully spread as the formal dialect of the language. Batua is found in official texts, schools, TV, newspapers, and in common parlance by new speakers, especially in the cities. Whereas in the countryside, with more elderly speakers, people remain more attached to the natural dialects, especially in informal situations. More recently, the distinct dialects of Biscayan and Zubarone have also been standardized. Bibliography. Alias Jacques, Manuel Pratique de Basque, Connaissance des Langues v. 13, A and Amp J. Picard, ISBN 2-7084-0038-X. Campion Arturo, Gramática de los Cuatro Dialectos Literarios de la Lengua Euskara, Tolosa. Lafitte, Pierre, Grammaire Basque, Navarro Labadam literaire, Elcarlanian, Donostia, Bion, ISBN 2-91315610-X.